my wife decided she's going to go shower, which is
took the day off.
Zero
Nice.
issues.
The rest of us were at work. But I mean, hey, stay home. Ooh, gotta feed the baby.
I've been curious. What exactly do you do when you go to the live shows? It's a lot, and then mix in, like you said, with you getting the furniture, and you'll only have about 4 weeks, and then by that point it'll all be, I can't help, I'm pregnant. So I think we should take a picture.
Didn't stop me from having her pick up sticks in the yard yesterday.
Hey, dum-dums, free cone of concrete for you morons to throw in your yards of garbage. And in order to qualify, must also take new floor for your trailer.
I think we may have to, like, you're at about a 10. We need to tone it down to maybe a 7. Turns out your method worked. Method worked well.
I was about to tell you, Steve, stop whatever you're about to say. Because I simply need to know and have an in-depth, full update on this Craigslist post. Now, granted, you didn't use my exact language that I would have preferred.
No, in fact, after you left last week, I went back and I edited the post.
Oh, for God's sake.
I had to fluff it up a bit.
The spirit of the whole game is lost now. I didn't know that. So did you fluff it up by, spitting niceties at these losers?
I think I just kept it pretty middle of the road. By the way, it's Sunday, May 19th, 2019, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle Podcast, episode 100. Last week you heard me post. I was giving away a bird bath that I just randomly found in my backyard. Yeah. People that listen to this must think that I have a legitimate junkyard behind my house, because we talk about we've talked about all the crap that I've found back there: shingles, part of a swing set, an exercise bike,
a deck,
underneath the deck. By the way,
the Steve estate always provides. If you're looking for anything, if you want to start, what's that game called where you start with a paperclip or whatever and you trade?
Oh, it's just one red paperclip. Like you
but
trade
if you want to start
your way up.
If you want to start that with something a little different, you come to Steve's house, the Steve estate, and just rummage his backyard.
Well, the good thing about the backyard is you could either start or end the game back there, because you could easily find, a stick, but for all I know, there's like a 57 Chevy out there too. It's just waiting to be unearthed.
Yeah. And so you come over here and, for the price of $5 or whatever, Steve lets you into the Steve estate in the backyards.
Okay.
And you'll walk out.
Stamp your hand.
Yep. And then you get a half hour access to the grounds. Mm-hmm. And, you'll have your taped off area, Steve. You say you can rummage through any of this area and take what you want. And so you're likely to start the one red paperclip game with, I don't know, like 2 stairs.
Yeah.
Maybe the mat from a treadmill.
Couple metal pipes. Found them yesterday. I'm not lying. They're in it. Like when you leave, you can peek in the garbage can. Yeah. You'll see 2 2-foot long just metal pipes.
A birdhouse built out of a flower pot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An old bundle of wires mixed of...
Threw out some wire yesterday that I found.
Into the backyard?
No. I removed it from the backyard.
Oh, good.
I'm trying to bring it back to its natural luster, whereas the previous owners seemed hell-bent on making it a garbage dump.
Have you thought now you're Johnny McFriendly around here on the cul-de-sac?
Yeah. Everyone knows me. Everyone knows my name. It's like my own Cheers.
Have you thought about walking next door and asking the matron of the cul-de-sac there? What's
Cindy.
her name? The old widow?
Cindy is not an old widow.
I thought... Wait.
No, I don't care what you thought. It's wrong. It's never right. What you think is never the right thing.
You're certain. Cindy hasn't lost a loved one, like a spouse?
Yeah. Confident.
That's a weird conversation you've had. Hey, Cindy. Ever had?
Well, I mean, I guess
had one of your partners kick the bucket.
I guess I didn't say it in so many words, but yeah.
So maybe you jumped to some conclusions that she was.
What do you want me to say? I don't know what are you angling at? Like, what is your goal here?
Have you ever thought about going over there and said, Cindy, sorry about your loss? Side note. Who the hell lived here before me? And did you ever see them just walk outside after dinner or after like a upstairs renovation and just with a blindfold on, just chuck things over their head into these woods?
They
have to have some insight, right?
Yeah, and because I know that the people that lived here before me, they were pretty close with the neighbors. I could tell, like, when we first met the neighbors, you could tell, like, oh yeah, the so-and-sos, they were great people. And, their kids grew up here and our kids played with their kids and blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to start trash talking their friends who they no doubt probably still talk to.
Oh, no, you.
But yeah, like I've mentioned before, Toby, our dog Toby, he's a stick dog. So every time he comes back from being out in the backyard, he's got a stick or something in his mouth. And most of the times it's just a little like 6-inch long stick, and he's a little dog, so it looks all cute. But every now and then he does that thing that dogs do where they find like a 12-foot long stick and he just comes running through the yard with it.
Yep.
Well, his new latest thing is he has discovered, he's unearthed a cache of old shingles. So he comes back, I'll look out the window, he's laying out on the deck, and I can see he's chewing on something. Oh, he's got a stick. And then he turns and he's like, and he drops an asphalt shingle out of his mouth. So I know at some point in the last like 5 or 6 years, it probably only a couple of years before we moved in, they replaced the roof. And the reason I know that is because if you look up when our house was listed for sale, it had older pictures in it.
Okay.
And the roof was a different color.
So a new roof.
So at some point, somebody replaced the roof, and looking at it, I can tell that it was not done professionally.
Oh, good. A little DIY, huh?
Yeah, which makes sense that instead of renting a dumpster and just throwing the stuff in there, the things that cost like $200.
Yeah.
No, instead they said, oh, why would we do that when we have this property where we can just dump everything? So everything is out there.
So, well, a couple of items from that. You think the neighbors still talk to you, the former owners of this home, whatever.
I don't know. I have to assume.
It's time, if you want to be, the guy with your sandals on and your cargo shorts and you're grilling out for the neighborhood kids and having movie nights and everything.
Movie night on the movies projected on the garage door.
Just the dumbest idea I've ever heard. If you want to,
while you're doing burnouts in the cul-de-sac
and honking,
just with your middle finger out the window.
I'm taking time out of my weekend, to come over and ruin Steve's cul-de-sac movie night.
You're so against coming over for my cul-de-sac movie night that you're going to come over to ruin my cul-de-sac movie night.
Never officially arrive.
You could just slightly alter your plans and have an enjoyable night.
Yeah.
But no, you'd rather ruin everyone else's good night.
I think if you put those two options in front of me, option A is, Kyle, you can have a good night. Option B is, Kyle, you can ruin 10 people's nights.
Have you ever had a good night?
I mean, they're few and far between. Boy, I'd be interested. I don't know how I would vote on that. If you 10 people, that's the number. Because if I could only ruin 5 people's night, waste of my time.
Not enough, yeah.
I'd rather try to enjoy my own existence. Boy, we'll have to put that on the poll.
Did we ever put up the one from last week?
What was last week? I know we didn't put up the one from 2 weeks ago. We were supposed to have a poll off, and then the final poll was supposed to be. The final poll was supposed to be posted. I don't even remember what that was about at this point.
Yeah, it was. No, it was
about you donate. Yeah,
dropping off wood. Oh, which we now digress to.
We're way digressed. Let me finish.
No. We're not doing this again.
Let me finish my thought first.
We're not stopping to find out what we were talking
not happening.
about.
We're not that far deep yet. Let me finish my thought. We'll get right back to that idea. So if you want to be that guy, hosting the movies on your garage door that, the neighbor dads would much prefer to just sit on their decks and have a few beers in peace and quiet. But no, let's go over to Cul-de-sac Steve's Grill Night.
That's what I'm going to call it.
You're going to have
on the Facebook invite, on the next door invite. Come on by. First annual Cul-de-sac Steve's.
Okay.
Barbecue night.
Philip or Nikki, please, you need to create Cul-de-sac Steve's movie night with exactly what we've just described. So Steve has got his dad gear on.
Yeah, I have obviously jorts.
You have jorts with
sandals with socks.
Cell phone most definitely hooked to the belt.
Oh, definitely.
Via clip.
I mean, instant access. I don't want that going to a second ring.
And then a hat that, was made in 1988.
Well, the hat has to be a world's best dad hat.
Oh, obviously. I apologize. And you're there on your grill, with your burgers and your hot dogs on it, and you're waving to the neighbors as the only thing you see is like little stars and symbols over the one dad's head walking across the street as he's cursing himself as he does not want to go visit Cul-de-sac Steve for his third ever movie night in 3 weeks. If you want to be that, though, you need to eliminate the old neighbors from their memory. You're still battling ghosts, Steve.
Yeah.
You're battling cul-de-sac ghosts about, we loved, whoever they are. We loved the old homeowners and their kids and yada, yada. No. Here's how you do it. Step 1. You start with every conversation you're forcing on these poor souls. You start, it's just really weird. Old treadmill in the back, whatever. Just describe to them the dirty tendencies.
I have dropped subtle hints, and last year when the neighbor was helping me cut down that one tree, even he mentioned like, a lot of stuff out here. Yeah, I know. You should have seen all the garbage that they left in the house. Been here a year and a half, and I'm still throwing out the previous owner's garbage because they just stuffed it in random spots in the attic. Now, like we have an attic over the garage.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 pop-up tents and like 6 sets of crutches. Why?
Why would you buy another set after you got your first set? You can reuse them.
Unless you're a family of 6 and everyone broke their legs on the same day. You don't need that.
I can only think of one thing, and you're not going to like it.
What's that?
I think your home was used for some very weird fetish pornography.
Crutch porno.
Crutch porn.
Well, the first time I went up into the attic in the garage, because I wanted to, I was running some electrical wires because I wanted to add a couple of outlets in the garage. So I had to go up there and fish the wires down through the wall. And I got up there. I'm like, what is all this? And there were just like 3 big, full, heavy garbage bags. Like the full black trash bags.
Yeah.
And I was kind of afraid to and right next to it is a pile of crutches. So
what the hell is going on in this?
So I take them, I drop them down out of the attic into the garage, go down, and I slowly peeled them open, and it was just stacks and stacks of school projects and book reports and art class things from no doubt when their kids were growing up. And for a split second, because I had the previous owner's phone number, because we had to, at one point, like right after we bought the house, she had to stop over to like give us a key or something. I forget what it was. So I had her contact info. For a split second, I thought, maybe I'll text her, see if she wants this. These are precious. Nope. Garbage can. Boom. Right in the garbage.
It's funny.
Because if they were that important, they wouldn't have stuffed them in the attic.
Yep. Absolutely. And that if you're putting in an attic school stuff, that's just garbage. Even then, right? I mean, if you need to move things to the attic because you have this house too filled with garbage, it's just, it needs to go in the garbage.
Yeah, you have too much. Too much stuff.
It's funny to observe what's happened in this house because it looks like you took over for the closet garbage people. Seems like none of the neighbors knew.
Yeah,
that
maybe there were hoarders.
All the things out back and trash bags of stuff in the attic or whatever. And you walked in, and so obviously they knew, like, hey, we need to keep this quiet that we're garbage people.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks, you were monkeying on your roof in sweatpants and Crocs.
Yeah, installing my
installing
TV
your
antenna.
And then, a week later, you had half a Jeep, leaned against the side of your house. And then a week after that, you had Rec come loading up vinyl fencing in his Buick.
His town car.
So what has happened is they've moved from a closet garbage neighbor, which they don't care about because at that point it's all hidden, to the out and about garbage neighbor Steve.
I'm proud of my garbage.
In my years, I've never wanted anything more than just one of your neighbors. Whatever it might be. Maybe they need a drink of water, use the restroom, let the dog out, to look out their front window at 3:30 or 4 in the morning and see some idiot with a headlamp on and a piece of plywood jogging across the cul-de-sac trying to get rid of more garbage using one of the neighbor's dumpsters, which is still there.
It's
too long.
I thought of that. That's been there at least 2 weeks now.
Well, we've talked about
it like this is the third week that we've talked about it.
Yeah.
So, it's been there probably close to about 3 weeks at this point. But we digress. Or we started this 16 minutes ago.
And I apologize. There's no chance we're getting to everything we wanted to today. That 16 minutes just ruined it.
Killed it. So last week on this very podcast, you helped me post a Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace ad.
You spat in my creative face.
For the half a bird bath that I found in the yard.
The worthless half. A cylinder of concrete.
Yeah, a cylinder of concrete that I've looked out the kitchen window and I've seen for the last year and a half and thought, maybe I'll get a top for that. No, I won't. Why? I don't want a bird bath.
Do you have to clean that? How does that? You just let it rain? Are bird baths? You just put it out there and the nature takes care of it?
I think so. Yeah, because it's not like birds are like filtering their water before they drink it.
Because they're
stupid.
You work with a weirdo who hoards fish and stuff, or he used to.
Yeah. No, it still does.
I'm not naming names. And with that, I've got to do this every 3 days. Got to test the pH levels, drop these chemicals in, change the water, scrub this, change the plants. Like what a bird bath. There's Steve who thought he wanted a bird bath. Rollerblading to the grocery store to get 2 gallons of distilled water because that's the only thing that's acceptable for the local bird.
So I'm rollerblading to.
Listen. You walk to an auto parts store.
No, I rode my bike to
blizzard or whatever.
I rode my bike to an auto parts store
in 43-degree rain.
Oh,
so I don't know your means of travel. Okay, fine. Sorry to offend you with the idea that you're rollerblading. You'll scoot down to the local grocery store.
There you go.
To get a couple of gallons of distilled water, and you realizing you have no storage, you'll look like a girl on a bicycle with like grocery bags swinging off the handlebar.
No, man, I'll put it in my basket.
But we digress.
Yeah.
So another piece of garbage they left you was, like you said, the base of the bird feeder. Realizing
concrete,
you're not quite 70 yet, you decide you don't want to complete the bird bath.
No, do not want the bird bath. So you helped me make a post that some may have deemed offensive.
Again, just stomped on my creativity.
And lo and behold, the next day, actually it may have been I may have sent you the text that night now the deal was you get the bird bath base, but you have to take the 2 8 foot by 4 foot sheets of waterlogged plywood that were the base to the old shed.
What? Just out of curiosity, have you looked? What is the value of half of a bird bath?
I have no idea.
Because I'd be curious. Because at some point you even Craigslist free section, which is scum of the earth, just the lowest of the low. At some point, you have to consider the value compared to the labor. And I would have told you the labor being 2 8x4 waterlogged pieces of plywood in the dirt is far too much for a 36-inch high, cylinder of concrete.
Because what I was thinking is, like I'm sure anybody would, that plywood is useless. You're only taking the plywood because you want the bird bath. So now you just have to deal with, all right, I guess I'll burn this or I'll throw it in a dumpster or something.
Or, as I suggested, use it as the new floor in their trailer.
What if I told you that this woman who showed up at my house said that she had a use for that plywood?
No. Okay. Okay. Give me a little character description so I can try to fathom what she could use this terrible conditioned plywood for.
She was everyone's mother. She was just a regular lady.
Age range?
Probably mid-50s.
She give you an area that she came from?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't get to know these people that well.
What was she driving?
Driving an old rusty pickup truck.
Okay. All right. Kind of putting the pieces together.
So she showed up, or there was more rust than sheet metal on this vehicle she was driving. And before she made the trip over, I specifically said, you know that you read the whole post, right? You got to take the plywood too. Yep. Okay. So she showed up. I was outside waiting for her. I helped her load 2 pieces of plywood into the bed of her truck, and then loaded the bird bath. I just put the bird bath on top of it. I mean, if she took a sharp turn, that thing was gone.
I'll let you finish, but I have an update.
Okay.
On the value
of half a bird bath.
Of the bird bath stand you gave away. But please, we'll get to that at the end. I will let you finish.
So, loaded it in, and she said, "You're not going to believe it. My friend was just talking about how she needed the base to a bird bath." And I said,
so she's doing a favor for somebody else.
I said, well, look at that. The planets aligned. The world brought us together.
Yeah. Are they just waiting for their can of coffee to be finished? so they couldn't quite use that yet?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's great. The cosmos brought us here. Look at that.
Did their stack of natural light 24-ounce cans not hold together like they hoped?
So then she said something like, oh, and this plywood is going to work out perfectly. And at this point, I'm already backing away, like walking into the, all right,
you're gone. Yeah.
See you later. Doing the old wave. My dogs keep escaping from the backyard, so I think I'll just be able to build the perfect fence for them with this. With the
fence? With
the rotten plywood that has 100 nails sticking out of it. I mean, yeah, that'll probably keep your dogs back. But
now when I think fence, obviously you have your chain link like you have, but even a privacy fence, right? Mm-hmm. Where those will be 6 foot high, but they're, a certain width. And, for the most part, you can kind of see through them. Yeah. These are just solid pieces of plywood, right?
Yeah.
And she's planning on using all 16 feet by 4 feet to make sections of fence?
Yeah.
Huh.
At that point, I was hitting the garage door button all right, I'll see you later.
Well, you know what the old saying is, Steve, is one person's trash is another weird trash woman's treasure.
Yeah, that's how the saying goes.
That's what I've heard.
One man's moldy plywood is another woman's dog fence.
What's sad, obviously it's an outdoor fence, but not too far off on my estimation that it might be a wall or a floor for somebody's living accommodations.
All right, now I need you to hit me with it.
Okay.
What is the going rate?
So this is from one of the big box stores. Okay. So if you and I went
Concrete,
there right
bird bath base,
26 inches high.
All right,
round,
cone shaped at the bottom.
Yeah, what do you think of that? Huh?
Oh, that's not that. See, that's a little bit more elegant than the one that I got. So,
oh, really?
Yeah,
yours was gray.
It was, but it was just it was a swoop.
Okay,
it was just a single, a simple cone. Yeah, that one has some got got a little more shape to it, a little more roundness to it.
Now, do you have a guess? Now, this is concrete.
I would think that. Now that's just for the base, so you actually buy
That's all it is. That's all it.
I would have assumed that you would buy it as a single lot. Like
it's advertised as a 26-inch high round concrete bird bath without the top on it. The pictures don't show it. I believe because a lot of people really try to, show their own uniqueness with the bird bath portion of the bath by, stained glass or the floral patterns that everybody so envies.
I would say because it's made out of concrete. Concrete's fairly cheap.
Yeah.
You can buy a bag of concrete for like $6.
But then you got to bring it to the sculpting
class. You got to bring it or build a mold for it. I don't know. It's $60.
Steve, you're in luck. For your estimated price of $60, I will give you 10 of these round concrete bird baths. $5.99.
Seriously?
Somebody, instead of going to Lowe's to get...
And that's legitimately concrete, right?
That's what it says. 26-inch high, round concrete bird bath.
$6?
Fantastic reviews.
$6?
High regard.
I might go buy one just because it's such a good deal.
I want you to buy 10, and then we're going to do this game. This is how you get rid of all your trash.
Here's what we do. We buy 10 of them, we set them up in my driveway, and we bowl with them.
That'll show the poor sucker who drove and dug out 2 8-foot pieces of plywood from your $5.99. And again, like you said, it's not just a tube. This has got it's whatever. It's a concrete design, and it's got some swirls and dips.
How much do they make them for if they can sell them for $6 and still make a profit?
Freestanding concrete. It's going to come out gray. Bird bath pedestal. 26 inches high, 9 inches wide, 9 inches deep, 9-inch diameter, 72 pounds. 72 pounds. And it's $6.
Okay.
So obviously this company is doing they have their bags of concrete or whatever, and they just have these molds.
Yeah.
And then they peel the cast off.
I think I know what somebody's getting for this year's Steve and Kyle podcast non-denominational winter solstice gift exchange.
When the staff member gets that, just be sure to not put it on our studio table. As I don't know
that is incredible.
If the structural integrity would hold a 72-pound bird bath pedestal. Well, that's remarkable. I almost wish you still had that woman's number just to send her that link.
I'm in shock.
There's free shipping on the website, Steve. You're going to ship me a 72-pound bird bath pedestal
for free?
For free. It's a Memorial Day sale.
Shipped to your house or shipped to store?
I don't know. It just says free shipping on thousands of items.
That might be the most shocking thing I've ever heard.
$5.99. And as everybody knows, with those big box stores, you get one of those credit cards.
Yeah.
Save yourself 5%. You could knock that down to $5.69.
Well, sign me up. Sign me up for that card.
Truly amazing. So it's gone.
Man.
It's all.
It's gone,
honestly,
yeah.
It worked out. It's gangbusters
gone.
For you. So now I want to play this game every week. I think we need to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes.
Go out hunting.
We're going hunting.
Go out treasure hunting.
We're going treasure hunting, and we're going to see. But we need to find one good item to pair, or not even good. For crying out loud, it was a concrete pedestal.
Shingles. Shingles. They could be the good or the bad item.
And then we need to find another thing you need to get rid of.
Okay, I got plenty of stuff.
And we have to pair these.
Plenty.
Let's empty that whole area out. At some point, let's take a picture of 2 individual trees you don't like.
I got 3 of them that I need to cut down.
You can take this one, but you have to take this one as well.
It's a BOGO. Tree BOGO.
Buy one you want, get one you don't.
Yeah. Man, that...
that's incredible. That is just incredible. Now, not tight on time at all, but I want to get right into this because you sent me a text that filled me with combinations of trepidation, joy, and curiosity all in one. And I have a similar story.
You're going to hate this. Well, I want to hear yours first, though.
Okay, and by similar, I mean I made the correct decision, and you acted like a buffoon.
Well, you haven't even heard my story yet.
No, but I know how to. I have an idea because the text you sent me. What was the exact words?
It was. Let's see.
Right there. Okay. Can't wait to tell you about.
Oh yeah, good God! Can't wait to tell you about a neighbor interaction I just had.
So, by your words saying neighbor interaction I had means your and I's broke separately early on in the proceedings.
Mine was a bit of a sneak attack. I was not the...
By you?
No. I was not the...
Wow.
I was not the one...
You got Pearl Harbored.
I did. I was just... I was the Arizona.
You got JFK'd.
Sitting there in port, and all of a sudden, boom.
You got JFK'd by an unidentified party.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So... I posted some pictures yesterday. I don't know if we'll have time to get into it today, maybe next week. I was doing a little D.I. Kyle yesterday.
Yeah. Dick Kyle, as we've called it before.
You have called it before?
Yeah, we've called it that many times.
I believe I pushed back on that. I believe the nickname Dick Kyle is offensive and unfair.
Ah, well, it's because you're a snowflake. Why don't you go cry to Bernie? Get your free health care elsewhere.
Huh. They're taking it on the chin this morning. So, I was doing some DIY yesterday.
What's Mayor Pete have to say? Is he in your corner?
We good?
Lock her up. Lock her up.
Boy, that reminds me of a story. I do not want to get into it because that's a deep digression that we don't have time for.
But no, we always have time for a little digression. You have to be home. You have to be physically at your house in 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not hard.
I don't think we're doing Fast Five.
It's going to be tight. So, my interaction, I was doing some D.I. Kyle yesterday, and
we have to hear all about that too. I want to know. Was there anything that went?
Oh, for God's sake, Steve! Everything. And
could you hang a picture? Do you think you could go home today and tap a nail into a wall and put a picture on it without there being some kind of
stopped doing
incident?
I've stopped it. I got my walls painted 1 week ago. I've hung two things. I've decided no more nails because it's only going to make more holes.
Command strips or the Velcro?
Yep, all the Velcro strips now. I'm starting to turn because I feel like a lot of the issues have been not me related directly. And I'm thinking back to your and I's dishwasher expeditions where it turns out that the fitting that we couldn't find anywhere is because for some reason they put a gas fitting on a water line. It's inexplicable, but it's the same home that they decided to build an entire basement and finish a basement bathroom around the water shutoffs.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason for why a lot of these things happen. So did some D.I. Kyle yesterday, and I will get into that in a little bit, but back to the neighbor interaction. It was a long day. There were some issues with the deck that I was replacing a lot of the wood on, and so it was near the end of the day. I had my dad, my father-in-law, my wife was there, my brother was there, and we were in, and it was hot in the middle of the day.
Towards the end of the day, made it there. Did he walk?
It was awful late.
He was probably running.
Hey. No. That's my family, man.
My apologies. He's very fast.
Hey. Stop laughing. It's rude. So, we're cutting and everything, and so I have extra.
Did you even say what you're doing? You're replacing?
We're replacing deck wood. Yeah. And so I have some extra pieces at the end of the old deck wood that has to now be discarded. So I'm taking some pieces upstairs, or into the front yard, and to put some small pieces in my trash can for now. And as I'm doing that, I'm bringing up some stuff for my dad to put back in his truck. My father-in-law to put in his truck to take home. And I have my neighbor on one side of me who is outside and
crazy one.
No.
Okay.
He's out of the picture.
Dead?
Police force.
Oh. Okay, so he is.
And I don't mean he's away at basic training.
He's currently unavailable for comment.
I tried. I reached out and everything.
Okay.
And
boy, that's got to be good. So do you think
more quiet?
Yeah,
a lot more quiet.
Maybe you'll get a nice neighbor, like a nice young neighbor that wants to be pals.
Just the guy's gone. The rest of the family's still there, garbaging it up.
So maybe they'll all die. Look, I mean,
maybe. Things happen. Who can predict? So the neighbor on the other side of me now, it's him and they're a younger couple my age. They now have 2 small children. This is the couple. I'm not interested in talking to any of them.
Of course not.
On the list, this guy is probably 3rd behind the guy who lives behind me.
Okay.
And the lady who I don't even know lives next to him, but I've never said a word to her, so I like her the best. And then this guy.
So you like the person that you've never spoken to the best.
Oh, she's the best. Just minds her own business.
What's her name?
The single lady. Probably a widow.
Of course.
Lives next to the guy who lives behind me.
Uh-huh.
That one.
That's her name. The widow that lives behind the single lady.
Lives next to the guy who lives behind me. And I don't know his name either. So, but this guy who lives directly next to me, and I forget how I've described him before, but he's in a job that I couldn't care less about or know anything about.
Sure, of course.
I think it's like computer software, technology, whatever. Snooze, not interested. Okay?
Okay.
This is the couple, they turned me off immediately. They got rain barrels like a bunch of hippies. Not interested. And so he is in his front yard, and they're digging holes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just bringing something out to the end of the driveway. And he sees me. He waves. I say, "Hey, how's it going?"
Already you're miserable.
I'm already mad because I somehow didn't spot this with enough distance to either, I could have told him, "Hey, I put the tool on your driver's seat," because I didn't want to go around to the passenger seat and be seen by my neighbor. But I didn't. "Hey, how's it going?" "Oh, pretty good. What are you guys doing back there?" Because, like I said, they're digging holes. Like, I don't know, slave labor, or, the movie Holes.
Is that a movie?
Oh, book movie from Disney. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. I think he's like juvenile detention camp. They just dug holes.
Dig holes, okay.
Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't care to ask.
Nope.
Not my yard. Not my holes. Dig them as deep as you want, friend. I don't care if you're digging a well. I don't need to be a part of it. And he said, "Oh, what are you doing over there? Replacing the deck?" I said, "Yeah, I just replaced a bunch of the deck boards." And so how's it going? And I said, "Well, we're done now, which is better than an hour ago." And I was good. But as I'm having this conversation, I'm moving back up the driveway.
Yeah, but see, you if you ended it like that, that was kind of leading. That was leading for him to say, "Oh, what happened?" That's like the guy that you see somebody at work and be like, "Hey, man, how was your weekend?" And they say something like, "Well, things have been better."
See, I thought I shut it down just by saying, "Done now."
No, you have to say like, "Yeah, it was a." I think it's because you put it in the wrong order. If you had said, "Well, you asked me an hour ago, things were pretty rough, but I'm all done now." I think because you started with "done now" and then ended with the leading.
So my sentence structure may have doomed me.
If you want to end conversations, you have to constantly be thinking, "What is a statement of finality?"
Boy, that's a lot of forethought.
Well, I mean, for somebody like you who loathes any kind of human interaction.
Listen, I got 6 people in my backyard. I've got lumber coming out the wazoo. I've got tools strewn about. Last thing I want to do is recap my miserable.
Yeah, I know, and I'm telling you how to avoid it.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm on your side, man.
I'm sorry. Sentence structure's not at the top of my mind.
Look, you want to end conversations quickly. I'm the guy to tell you how to do that.
I'm talking across the yard at this idiot. Take a hint. I'm not walking towards you. I'm walking away. Stay in your boundary, weirdo.
You should have just turned around and walked away and then given the both middle fingers above the head like stone cold.
So
and then shotgun a beer.
I'm moving up my driveway towards my fence area so I can get to the backyard. Mm-hmm. And he takes easily 10 to 15 steps.
Oh, boy.
Towards me.
Oh, boy.
I lift my hand in the air, say, gotta get back to cleaning up, and book it to the backyard.
You're just the worst.
Let me tell you how this worked out.
I bet it worked out great.
No more than 1 hour later, I'm finished cleaning up. I've taken everything I need. Whatever. It's all gone. It's fine now. I look outside. I told you they're digging holes. Mm-hmm. And I didn't care what they're digging holes for.
Right.
I still don't.
The movie holes.
The movie holes, maybe they were big fans and they decided to replicate.
Yeah.
I look across the street at divorced dad of two. That's his name. Mm-hmm. And he's got...
D-dot.
D squared.
Yeah.
He has just mountains of rocks that he is bringing and laying around his tree, which is a terrible decision. Now you're going to have rocks in the middle of your yard, and as soon as those roots grow, the rocks are going to start pouring into your yard. You're going to mow some rocks.
Right.
Whatever. Now, I don't care, D squared.
D-dot.
Do what you have to do. Okay? You want rocks there? Go ahead. Is mulch a better decision? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's him. It's the other guy. The 4th of July... just bystander blasting AC or DC talk. Okay, that's how I described him.
Okay, the DC talk patriot.
So we've got the DC talk patriot. We've got D-Dot. They're moving stones around this guy's tree. And who else do I see?
I don't know. I don't know the characters in your.
I see Tech Weirdo.
Oh, Tech Weirdo joins in.
Wheelbarrowing rocks with his calf high socks. His tucked in polo.
How old is Tech Hero?
Tech, he's my age. Maybe, I don't think he's younger. He's got to be early 30s.
Okay.
And they're carrying wheelbarrows of rocks back and forth. And what do I see an hour later, Steve? So it's about 6 or 7 at night now. So it's still light out, but it's been a long day. I see a truck pull up in front of Tech Weirdo's house. Mm-hmm. And it's from a local nursery.
All right,
nursery.
It's getting a bunch of plants and trees and stuff dropped off.
3 large trees.
Oh, look at that! So he was prepping. The holes were. I bet the holes were for the trees.
The holes were for the trees, Steve. Do you want to know what the 10 to 15 steps in my direction were for?
To ask if you could help carry a tree.
Ding, ding, ding. Because
do you know that for sure?
D-Dot and DC Talk Patriot are hauling trees into this idiot's yard.
Are they struggling with them?
So there was a deal made.
Yeah.
I'll help you wheelbarrow your dumb stones into the middle of your stupid tree.
Yeah.
If you help me move and plant these trees that are arriving in the next half hour. And if you're put on the spot like that, what do you say?
You got to say yes.
You can't be like, no, thank you. That sounds awful. So these two suckers who wanted to hang out and converse with Tech Weirdo, and they're just shooting the breeze. I hear them giggling like schoolgirls over across the street as I'm ignoring them getting my mail. And they get stuck into moving trees, Steve. So my avoidance of an interaction with those 3 mongrels spared me an easy couple hours of work.
Is it worth the alienation?
Oh, I'm not alienated. I think they know. I mean, listen, I talked to DC Talk Patriot's wife the other day for, I would say, 45 seconds.
Whoa!
Now, if I had to tell you, it was 30 seconds that's the truth. 30 seconds too long.
What'd you guys talk about?
She approached me, hated every second of it. Now this, I would have been fine with. She's nice. I was just getting my trash can, moving it from the end of the driveway upstairs. But the only problem was I was home alone with Reed. Katie was at work, so Reed was inside. I just had to run out and do this quick from the end of the driveway and up. So she approaches. So at this point, I have a video monitor that's hooked up to Wi-Fi. It doesn't work out there. I don't know. He's sitting on the floor in the living room.
Sure.
So anything that has to happen has to be quick.
Yeah.
So I didn't cut her short at all. But
you talked to her for a good 45 seconds.
Way too long. God, it was way too long. And she wanted to tell me something about the crazy neighbor who is gone. That's how I found out he's gone via police action.
So I need to know more about that. Like,
the only details I have. So she came over to tell me that one of their dogs. Now this is all neighborhood stuff. That stay-at-home moms. I don't care that. But it turns out they're just looking.
This is the watchdog page, but on a personal level. By the way, I quit.
No. No!
Ripcorded, I'm out.
Okay. Why do you tell me we don't have the time?
I can't do it. I can't do it.
What am I going to... Who am I going to text now?
I'm still happy to hear about the screenshots are appreciated.
It's not the same.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it anymore.
What was... there has to have been the straw... the cliff, the jumping off point.
I don't even think that it was I don't even think there was anything in particular. I was just scrolling through and thought, I don't care about any of this.
See, you're insane because now you missed today. This very morning, Steve, somebody said, looking for postcards. How do you expect them to be helped?
That's it?
That's it. How do you expect them to be helped if you're not even...
Oh, man, I might have to join.
Looking on the page.
Looking for postcards.
Yeah.
For what?
Wouldn't be surprised if it got deleted. And by the way, if you quit, you can't get back in.
No?
Yesterday, they changed it to a secret group.
Yeah,
not closed. Secret. You have to be invited by a current member, which I have to vet you. Okay. If I'm going to invite you, I can't have my good name.
No, of course not.
On the neighborhood watchdog page be slandered and be brought down by your ruckus.
Yeah. No, I'd had enough. It had been a good year and a half, 2 years. But nope. At first I thought of just hiding the group or muting it.
There it is, Steve.
Where can I find postcards? Of what? Like the local...
Steve, you don't need any other notes, any other details?
I can't imagine that there are many postcards featuring our local area. I mean, it's a typical suburb. Like, what are you going to show the picture of the subway?
Yeah, just go get a line of white people. Any picture,
bunch of churches.
Any picture of churches or white people. And you're good.
Yeah, I think some of it had to do with the ongoing road construction.
Oh yeah, every day there's 18 posts about you can't turn left at this one while this road's still under construction. This is my neighborhood, drive 25.
And then the idiots that are like, when is this going to be done? I've been having to take this detour for over a year now. You should be used to it by now.
It's a detour.
Then.
It shouldn't be that much of a hindrance anymore. That should be essentially your new route.
Yeah, but the 4th Street is just so busy and someone's going to get hurt.
I don't like busy roads or black people.
I really enjoyed when somebody posted a picture 6 months ago and they said, well, it finally happened. An accident at the corner of whatever and whatever. And they showed they took a picture of it because it obviously happened right in front of their house. It could not have been an accident with there was so little damage that it looked like 2 cars were just parked awkwardly.
2 bumpers tapped.
There weren't I didn't even see dents or anything.
Right.
So I just replied, thoughts and prayers. Hope everyone's okay.
Well, this week, Steve, if you've been missing out on a massive page debate because somebody posted a car accident with a photograph and that got deleted.
Oh no, I was still there.
Okay,
you
were still there. Okay, good.
Yeah, I quit probably the day after that.
A lot of uproar in the community. A lot of uproar. But so back to the neighbor lady had approached across the street to tell me that, hey, we've seen the small dog on the crazy neighbor's side. They've been coming over and peeing and pooping in your yard. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there once or I've approached that person once referencing their dog, and I was attacked, and I had to call the police. So I'm probably not going to do that again right now. Oh no, he's gone. That's how I got the details. He's gone. Said a while ago there was a couple of police cars, and then he was led away in handcuffs, and he has not returned since. So
all right, well,
that's all I know. That's all I know. So that was about 45 seconds, wasn't it? Nice lady. Obviously, wife of DC Talk Patriot. Don't know her name. Don't need to. All set.
DC Talk Patriot.
So, listen, I know one of my neighbors. And by neighbors, I mean the guy who lives 2 houses down from me because he's one of my best friends since junior high. That's it.
Do you ever see him? Because he travels a lot, right?
Yeah, So he's home
work.
this month. And I've seen him once. Twice.
And you're good with that, right?
Listen, it's all right. It's different on days where if I get home early, I used to, I'd wander, or even on time, I'd wander down, I'd go have a beer at his house, or I'd say, hey, come on by and hang out for a little bit. But with Reed, it's weird to have with a baby. It's not like you can just do that because it's, oh, hey, sorry, I'll be gone for about 20 minutes in the bedroom while I'm trying to get him to sleep. Yeah, it's just different. But no, I'll see him tonight. Big WWE pay-per-view.
Oh, what do we got tonight? Is it
Money in the Bank, Steve?
Money in the
It's pretty much the launch of the new wrestling season before we get into the SummerSlam. This launches the SummerSlam season, as we all know. But I you know what? Boy, oh boy, maybe I did change. I had a 2-minute conversation with the guy who lives behind me last night.
Oh, Shed Guy. Who built the biggest shed.
Now, I don't know what's going on back there. Because
this was the guy that you had to move your fence or something.
Oh, the fence was a train wreck last year. He made a new fence, and he did it himself, which is, again, dumb. Took way too long, so I had this chicken wire fashioned fence that I made to fill the gap, and then he put the fence back up but didn't connect it to the old posts, leaving like 36-inch gaps.
Okay.
Listen, it was a nightmare. And then they built a pole barn sized shed after that.
It's pretty big.
Blocking, thankfully, our view of the pool and the noise and everything.
Kind of worked out well.
Yeah.
So you got like a green monster in your
your
backyard now. Oh, did you ask him if you could paint it green and then we could play wiffle ball tournaments back there?
Oh my gosh.
Would you play in a wiffle ball tournament?
Oh, absolutely no.
What if it was in your backyard?
Oh, I got to host people? Oh, ugh.
Right.
Plan it for a week, I'm gone. Make sure to make it look like you were never there. Cleaner than when you arrived. I had a couple-minute conversation with him, and I didn't ask, but
that's like a 6-foot privacy fence, right?
I was on my deck.
Okay.
He saw me. Him and his exasperated wife were in the back as they had their pool opened. But I've noticed something. So they have this massive pole barn, which and the in-ground pool that they made last year. It's taken up 85% of their backyard. There's not much grass, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's the life. I'm coming around to this.
Well, you're going to come around a little more because now I've seen a couple of weeks ago on the Informed page, he posted looking for someone to pour concrete in the back for a basketball hoop.
Oh, look at that.
Another square of grass.
Okay.
Gone. He posted this weekend on the Informed page. Now, you tell me how this could tie into anything. Looking for railroad ties.
Oh, for landscaping.
Is that'd be the only reason?
Because I was actually doing...
What are you landscaping when it's all concrete?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess because I was looking for them for... Originally, I had thought about doing that for around our shed. Like, you put the railroad ties down because they're weather resistant. Like those things, they'll last a million years because they dip them in like creosote or something. But yeah, the only thing I can think of is that he's probably doing some kind of landscaping. But yeah, if you said that there's maybe he's building like planters out of them.
Yeah, either that or maybe
a retaining wall or something.
Whatever. Again, I don't care. Not my house. Do what you want. Just don't disconnect your fence again.
You should put a fence, or you should put a gate so you can go into his yard. So you guys can walk back and forth.
Oh, you mentioned that last year as a joke. It was laughed away immediately.
How did he even bring that up as a joke?
We were talking when he approached me about the fence, and we were talking about the fence, and because he's putting in the pool, and I said, "Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah, you guys should come on over. You should put in a gate here. You can come on by." I said, oh, that was that.
So you just gave him the pity laugh.
You think I'm interested? He knows. Listen,
we had a gate growing up. We had a gate from our backyard into our, like, the people who live behind us. Because they were like, they had 3 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Roughly the same age. So, yeah, I grew up, like, we just had a gate to go from our yard into their yard.
I'm sure the senior citizens who live there now on both sides really appreciate, oh, good, I can go talk to Ethel.
That's the weird thing. I never, like, growing up, it was completely normal to me because that was just how we grew up. And it wasn't until much later that I thought, oh, that's strange. But that's really weird.
When you're young, though, too, I mean, the idea, like, when you're, whatever, it's a school trip or something, the adjoining hotel room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, the 2 doors.
Yeah.
And you can sneak in between rooms or whatever. That was always a novel and cool idea.
Yeah.
And no, like, that's weird, right? Like, they could, like, somebody could just open their door.
Every time I'm in a hotel room,
their ear against, for whatever reason.
Every time I'm in a hotel room with an adjoining door, I think this is weird.
It's odd, but no, as a kid, it's a sense of I can get everywhere. Like it's like a maze.
It's like a fort.
Yeah. I had a couple-minute conversation with the shed guy behind me. His wife, like I said, they're building the basketball, whatever, all these fine items. Got a recap on that in under 2 minutes. Went inside. All set. I'm good. I don't need to see any of those idiots until Halloween. None of them. So next time I want to see any of them, and it only better be because they're bringing their kids around for candy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You doing a haunted house this year?
That is TBD. I really want to. I really want to.
Last year, the kibosh was put on that.
Yeah, the baby was very close. Well, it was due on the 11th of October, born on the 17th of October. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't going to work. It takes a lot of planning and building and things like that.
We'll probably bring our daughter by for it. I mean, she'll be 2 weeks. No, she'll be like 4 weeks old at that point.
I'll turn the fog on low. No big deal.
She'll be dressed up, no doubt, as a little
princess,
goblin or something.
Got to go scary.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, babies are scary already because they're just weird looking.
Boy, oh boy, I've learned a lot. But you've cut out the informed page.
Yeah, gone. Cold turkey.
Man, oh man.
I don't miss it.
I spent way too long on this, though. Yeah. Because now we're up against it, and you're right. I think the Fast Five might go bye-bye this week.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me what happened that
we digress, right? Because I think I started to, and then...
Well, you said you wanted to hear mine first, and then I drabbled on too long, so I apologize, Steve.
Okay.
But I need to know what happened with you and... So which neighbor, I guess, let me ask you that. Which neighbor was this area-wise for me?
One I haven't met before.
Okay.
This one is directly behind our house. So I know the guy...
This isn't the one who snuck through a fence
No,
slab.
but I did talk to him yesterday for the first time, because I was driving a...
we need to get you a second job.
What is that thing called that I had? Like a tractor
Scooter?
Or like a bobcat
Oh,
type.
yeah.
Borrowed this from a friend. So I was using it to haul all the rocks out there that we're going to be... that are the base for the shed that we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm driving around in this big diesel-powered tractor. So it's causing people... I can see neighbors looking out the window like, what the heck's going on? So this is the guy that lives kind of diagonal from us out back. He was the one that had come over last year and said, hey, there's a tree hanging over your fence. It was a dead tree that was hanging over into his yard. And so we had been planning on cleaning up the yard, cleaning up that area. We had gotten the dumpster.
You wanted to do the work for him.
Basically, yeah. So we cut that tree down, which in his defense, completely our responsibility. It's on our property, hanging into his yard.
He could have, now if he wanted to, that is his right, if he wanted to just climb a ladder, he could have cut the portion leaning into his yard.
Yeah,
anything leaning into his yard, he can cut.
But he would have had, it was probably 30 feet up, 40 feet up.
Okay.
So I had told him, I said, don't worry, we're planning on doing that coming up in about a month.
Yeah.
So we cut it down, and I've said to Annette, we've said to each other a bunch of times since then, I mean, am I too needy that I expected that he would at least pop his head back over the fence? Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, now that I don't have to worry when the kids are out in the yard because they have a bunch of young kids.
And I don't think you are, Steve. I mean, I know you're not asking my opinion, but I think you're well in your... I think you're well, and it's not you're right, but you're well in your own mind to think that he would come back by and say, that greatly appreciated.
I don't need
him
him.
You a note.
I don't want him to like bring me a plate of cookies or anything.
Right.
But if the roles are reversed, and I had said to him, "Hey man, that I'm worried that's going to fall and like crush the shed or whatever," because that was a chance. It could have landed on his shed, taken out the fence. God forbid if his kids are out in the yard, could have caused some damage.
Sure.
If that's me, and I see, oh wow, they cut it down, I'm at least walking over and saying, "Hey, I thank you so much. That was great. Here, let me buy you a beer or whatever." So I saw him yesterday. This is the first interaction we've had with him since he asked us to cut down the tree over a year ago.
Sure.
And it's because he is looking at this like tractor that I'm driving around thinking like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Talked to him for a few minutes. He's on his way. Talked to one of the other neighbors because she's like, "What are you doing?" Building a shed. Got to haul some rocks. She's on her way.
Yeah.
We had finished up all the work yesterday and brought all the tools back out into the garage, just kind of flopped them on the workbench. I'm straightening up everything in the garage. I'm like sweeping out the garage. I had sprayed off the tractor, so when my buddy picks it up, it's nice and clean. And I go to walk out of the garage. The garage door is still open. I go to walk out, and there's just this guy standing there. I'm like, "Hey!" Like, he startled me because he's standing right at the top of my driveway.
Yeah. Okay. So, second time he's now made a creepy appearance.
This is first time. This is a totally new guy. This is a stranger.
Oh, okay.
Stranger who I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
And he's just standing there, and I was like, "Hey, whoa, hey, hi. How's it going?" He goes, "Hello, my name is Robert." "Hey, Robert, how are you?" He's an older guy, probably 50s.
I don't love the introduction.
I was thrown off. His demeanor was a little...
Hello.
"Hello, my name is Robert." "Hey, Robert, how are you?" So I go up, shake his hand. I'm thinking at this point he is walking around. Maybe there's a local election coming up, and he's trying to convince me, like, vote yes on this millage.
Have anybody had a chance to talk to you about our local roads?
He said, I'm your neighbor behind you." "Oh, great to meet you. How are you?" "Oh, I'm doing well. Just wanted to know if you were aware that you are the owner of 3 dead pine trees."
Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's safe to say, based on the first 20 seconds, that this is not a gentleman you're going to be, crossing the fence line for to go hang out with.
He's probably not coming to Cul-de-sac Steve's movie night. Now, and it was in that split second that I realized the only reason my neighbors talk to me is when they want me to cut down a tree.
Listen, I don't think I've ever been more vindicated in my life. This whole cul-de-sac looks at you. One, they look at you as the garbage neighbor. And two, they only want you to do the damn labor. The one guy got the garbage dumpster quote for you, Steve. It was outside of your house at your personal email with the invoice.
I did appreciate that because I didn't have to do any of the work.
I'm just saying,
that was kind of nice.
It just seems like I've been vindicated. I don't know how that poll went about 8 months ago. We need to revisit it. Was Kyle right in regards to Steve's neighbors?
Well, so when we had gotten trees cut down maybe a month ago here, we had gotten a couple of quotes, and actually two of the guys that came out to give us quotes said there are 3 trees out they said total there are 6 trees, 3 on your side, 3 on the neighbor's side, that are they're toothpicks sticking up out of the ground. There are no branches. They're just dead. They're completely
dead because that takes a lot of time.
They're completely dead. And it's weird because they're right in a row. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 are on my side, 3 are on his side. And
hello,
I'm Robert.
You can't. And then he said the characters. You've got Robert. You've got Rec. You've got this lady building a nailed plywood fence. Got the widow.
He said, I wanted to know if we were to get a quote to take down those 6 trees, if you would be willing to pay for half of that. All right. Yeah, it seems fair.
Now you're in a spot.
Again, yeah, exactly.
Same
because
spot as
I have to say yes.
Yep.
The thing that sucks is the 3 that are on my side, the 3 that I'm responsible for, if they were to fall, there's no way they're hitting my house, so I don't really care about them. I mean, as bad as that sounds, like, there's no way that they could fall and hit my house. They're not tall enough, and even if they are, other trees would block them from hitting my house. So I know that they have to be cut down, but it's very low priority for me. I don't care.
So
he's
at your driveway, and now Pine Tree guy wants your cash. He wants your help. And
well, here's the thing. It was very unclear how this was left off, because the conversation ended with him saying, well, let me give you my number and let me know. Because I had already told him, yeah, hey, if you want to get a quote, that's fine. And, do I want to pay for it? No, not really. But if it needs to be done, whatever. This is going to cost me a couple $100. Okay, fine. So he said, okay, well, I'll give you my number and you let me know. Which made me think,
let me know what? Does he
think? Wait, am I on the hook now for organizing this? Because no, I'm not doing that. Like, if you want them taken down,
yeah,
you do the work.
Sure.
And present me with the bill. I will hit divided by 2 and I'll give you money for it. That's fine.
Huh. Okay.
So, but then, but before that, like, I just gave you the beginning of the conversation and the end of the conversation. But the middle of the conversation is where we went on an adventure.
Oh, no. You got context?
Yeah.
Or you got some backstory from him?
He said, well, I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Isle Royale for 8 days.
Okay, now Isle Royale, if you don't, most people don't, is an island in Michigan that's totally secluded. Mm-hmm. You have to take a ferry there. Mm-hmm. It is off the grid to the nth degree.
Yeah. So I'm going to Isle Royale for the next 8 days. And I said, oh, okay. Because I wasn't familiar. I had heard of that, but I have no idea. So I assumed is it like a hot spot for camping or something?
You can. Again, you're not looking for water hookup, none of that stuff on this, I believe. And it's the epitome of out in sticks, or,
So I simply said to him, oh, that's great. Business or pleasure? You going camping or something?
Yeah, and again, there's animals. There's a lot of things to do there, but it's for the hardcore camper.
And Robert says to me, with kind of a smuggish type look, well, I guess that depends on your definition of business or pleasure.
Oh, my God.
Which left me in a weird spot where I was just like, huh? Because I don't know if that's a joke. I don't know if there's something that I'm not picking up on. So I said, oh, well, what are you going to be doing there? I'm going to be digging up moose bones.
You hear this, right, folks?
Side note. Here, I'm gonna back away from the mic, and you can just have a conversation with the rest of the audience.
See, folks, this is why Uncle Kyle has answers that might not seem kosher. They might not seem PC. Might not seem very what people would call kind. This right here is why you don't talk to your neighbors. Because then you get stuck a year and a half later talking to Robert, who's on his way to dig up moose bones. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're interested in having a conversation with an older gentleman who's going to dig up moose bones, what the hell are you doing here? Read the room. Understand what you're listening to. I already hate you if you want to talk to this person. So this is a warning. This is a warning to everybody, Steve, and I thank you for giving it, because your team talked to neighbor, as we talked about at length.
This was a sneak attack. I was JFK in the parade.
Yeah,
he was your hero up in the Texas School Book Depository.
He was the alleged killer of JFK.
I don't think it's alleged.
Alleged.
So back to the conversation with Robert, the moose bone digger.
He's headed to Moose Bones. Gotcha.
I said, "Oh, okay. Is that your job?" And he said, "Well, yes, I've been doing that for a few years now, and we dig up the bones and we send them to Michigan State, and they analyze the bones." Okay, cool. All right. And then, as if the conversation wasn't already
done,
strange enough,
yeah,
he said, "Well, we were now back on track talking about the backyard, the trees." He said, "Oh, my wife does all of the gardening.
Oh,
if you see me out there doing gardening, you know that there's a problem." And I swear that was like, I think that might be the funniest thing Robert had ever said. Like in his existence, he really got himself.
Not that day or that conversation his life.
Yeah. So I said, "Oh, that's good." And he said, "My wife is the preeminent birder in our county." What?
Oh my God.
What?
I need you to tell me or text me this. Do you know their last name, or do you just know?
I do. Yeah.
But you need to text it to me because I need to Google this and find out right now if that can be verified. Because obviously there's Our County Birder magazine that comes out in a monthly newsletter.
Just sent you his name.
Mm-hmm.
So I said,
"Oh yeah, that's got Birder."
I was gonna say, do you know the name? Are you familiar?
Oh no, but that's got Birder.
So
is that bird watching? Excuse
bird
my
watching.
ignorance.
Yep.
I know you're in the presence of excellence.
The only reason I know that is because Annette knows somebody who is a birder. I had never heard the term before, but bird watching. So I'm
searching.
I didn't know that. How are you good at just looking at things? Like, how can they rank who's better at just observing something?
I think you have to know the area, right? So,
like,
could I
be like the preeminent car watcher in this town?
Yeah.
Like, I just sit on the side of the road and like,
yeah, but you have to have your photographic evidence that you saw, the 66 Camaro that there's only 30 of in the world. Because I think that's where birders hold their mantle. Is like, I saw, the one-eyed finch beak in a quarry. Like, and nobody's ever seen it. So that's why I'm the preeminent birder in our county. Now, if this gentleman showed 1 ounce of funny in any bone of his life, I would have expected you to say, "Oh my God, that's great. I just picked up squirreling."
Or I could have said to him, "Wait, I'm the number 2 birder in the county. I've had my sights set on your wife for years now.
Okay.
I'm coming for her. I'm taking her down."
So I typed, I couldn't find anything for just the last name Bird or bird watching or birder, but I typed in his name, Bird. And now what I have.
Does that have anything about moose bones?
Is Michigan birds from the Michigan Audubon.
It's not
Audubon.
Yeah, it's not Audubon.
And this is an organization. And Michigan Birds and Natural History. Publication of Michigan Audubon.
Audubon.
And it just has her names attached to it.
Really?
Yes.
So his story checks out.
Yep, I have her name.
What kind of money does a birder make? Because maybe he should just pay for the trees. You'd think that being a birder, they wouldn't want to cut down the habitat that their species lives in.
How much do birders make?
Yeah, is that on? Can you look that up on like those career builder websites?
The average salary. Do you want to guess? I don't know how this could be salary.
For a birder.
What is it based on? How do you financially make money as a birder?
Is that somebody does that fall under like the Department of Natural Resources?
I don't know. I don't have any answers regarding this. This is from simplyhired.com. Mm-hmm. The average bird watching salary. Now they have the do you want me to give you? Well, that's not related at all. The top 10 related jobs and salaries. I don't know how a dentist is related.
What?
Or a veterinarian, human resource specialist. I believe that's more like the range that's in. Therapist, senior maintenance, whatever. Those are all related jobs.
Okay.
But they have like top bird watching jobs. I don't see anything. It's just say go out and look for these. But yeah, I have the average bird watching salary, Steve.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
Boy, I mean, I've made one guess on this podcast about the cost of a bird bath. Oh, I should have given them the bird bath.
Oh, my God. Oh, she'd have looked down on you. Concrete? It's probably bad for bird health. Or
yeah, I made one guess. I guessed $60 for a bird bath base. Sure. It was actually $5.99.
Only 10 times inflation.
Yeah. $15,000 a year.
The average salary.
Because that can't be a full-time gig.
Yeah, I'm going to give you. Let me start you with the top 10% of bird watchers. The top 10%.
Okay.
Now we all know about the wealth disparity in this country.
Yeah,
Steve.
Of course.
So take this with a grain of salt. Top 10% make, on an average, $137,541. Do you want to know the bottom 10%?
Yeah.
$26,516.
That's still great.
To go out, like, can I just take a picture of?
Look, it's a red-bellied finch. Snap. Boom, $26,000.
The average salary, Steve, for bird watching is $60,000. $60,391.
The fact that you said the average salary for, and it was followed by bird watching, is remarkable.
I think the only thing I can do next... Okay, hang on, sorry. Excuse me, I know this isn't great while I type, so let me just... how do you make money bird watching? What the hell? Because this podcast is done tomorrow.
Yeah.
If all I need is my phone
if I can
and
make
a stupid hat...
Yeah, if I can make $26,000 a year... Like, I still want to work my regular job, but that's a pretty good little side gig you got there. If you can make $26,000 a year taking pictures of robins.
I have a yacht. Yep. Okay. You like your job. Cute. Whatever. If I tell you tomorrow with your iPhone and, again, a stupid hat, you can make $60,000 taking pictures of birds.
I'm gone. I'm quitting.
You're quitting, right? Okay.
Tomorrow.
I just wanted to verify. Okay.
Sit out on my deck. Look, it's an eagle. Click.
So Yahoo Answers as how do you make money from bird watching? It didn't answer what the hell. Mm-hmm. But the best answer is from somebody 10 years ago saying, I'm a wildlife biologist, and I basically watch birds all day and get paid. I had to go to school to earn a degree, however, to qualify for it. Not sure if you're talking about birdathons. No.
Of course not.
Where you get sponsors to pay you for so much for species you see.
Most assuredly not talking about birdathons.
I suppose if you're a good birder, you can charge people to take them on birding tours and field trips.
Okay, so it's a tourist thing.
Yeah, but then somebody else says most people either write for birdwatching magazines or take photos. You can take writing lessons from university.
How many writers do they need for birdwatching magazines?
I figure 3.
How many birdwatching magazines are there?
I figure 3, and that's just to manage the workload. Yeah, and then it's just people talking about lens. Many people think birdwatching is boring, but it's very interesting, and you can make yourself some cash. Birdwatchers watch birds, take pictures, and learn about their wildlife. The pictures can be sold to people that want them. Birdwatching can make a lot of money depending on the picture and how good it is. Also write stories about a certain bird or their experience and can publish books and stories. Look at, this is writing jobs online, and they have jobs for bird. Wow, okay. Huh. I typed in... Okay, I have a link for your neighbor, Steve.
Yeah?
It's I'm not going to give too many details. It's just got it's I'll just give you the name of the website. We could say that, right?
No,
I think it's
I don't want to give. I don't want to.
But I think it's national.
No.
So let me just
I don't want to give any. Look, there's a chance that I doubt he listens. I'm fairly confident that Robert, the moose bone digging birder, does not listen.
Well, she's busy because as of yesterday, 2:59 p.m. at a park very near us, Steve, she saw 48 species.
What? Let me see. Turn that around again.
We had, so you see there on the bottom.
Where is she? Oh, yeah. Look at that.
And she was out with a friend, and that friend wasn't her husband, because that's the same time of day.
Oh, boy.
There are birding
little scandal going on.
So this is updated all the time, because right now, there's somebody out about 20 minutes away from us, bird watching, checked in at 10:11 a.m.
Oh, boy.
In a township near us. They've only seen one species so far.
Loser. Come on. Are you even trying?
He's checked in.
There's birds everywhere. I could throw a stone and hit 10 of them.
That's how we bird. You and I go sit in the woods for 4 minutes, let birds, get in their trees and get comfortable, and then I'll throw a rock.
And then they all...
and you just sit there with your iPhone.
Yeah, put it on like that flash mode where it takes like 50 pictures at once.
I want to see if I can really turn the birding community in this neighborhood on. Can I register for this and just write that I've seen 6,000 species in the last week?
I saw a peregrine falcon yesterday.
Bald eagle in my house.
Got 10 of them living in my shed.
So, she was busy yesterday. Not only was it 48 species at that park, 2 hours before that, 53 species at another park.
So,
not only that, Steve, it was a big day because at 8:45 in the morning was at another park where she saw 65 species of bird. So yesterday alone,
to me, like birding
is dumb.
It's not worth the money. If you're putting in that many hours on the weekend.
So punched in at one park at 8:46, punched in at the next park at 12:06, punched in at the third park at 2:59.
Yeah, barf. Do you work? Is it like a? Like, do you have like Tuesday and Wednesday off? So it's just like a shifted weekend.
They've got hot spots with how many species have been seen at each hot spot.
Oh boy, that's exciting.
Okay, I'm going to bastardize this website. I'm creating an account, and
so I don't think that Robert was lying. I think his wife is like, when it comes to birds in this county,
she knows what's up.
She's the head honcho.
I just can't. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I know you got to get out of here.
Oh, never mind. We just don't have time. We don't have time.
We may have an update on this next week.
I might never leave this website.
Moose bone digging and birding. Two things that I never knew you could get paid for.
Stop the music. Stop the music. I have an official ranking of the top 100 birders in this county.
Where is she?
Do you want to guess where Robert's wife is ranked? Do you know?
Well, I mean, he said that I can't remember the exact wording. He may not have said she was number one, but maybe it was made apparent that she was on her way to number one. Like, she was the rising star in the birding community. I'm going to say she's got to be top 5. 48 species at one park yesterday. 65 at another.
She is ranked.
Oh, drum roll.
17th.
Oh, Robert, you dirty liar. You dirty, dirty liar.
We can all agree 17th is not, quote, one of the top in the county, right?
Unless, I wonder how often they rank. Maybe last month she was like 62, and she's on a fierce...
updated 21 hours ago.
Oh, they update the they update the rankings on a daily basis.
It appears this way. Listen.
All right, I need a graph to see where she was 6 months ago.
Well, I can show you time periods. I can show you 2019.
Yes.
So in 2019, let me
what
update
was the lowest?
2019, Steve. She's 11th.
She's on her way down.
No, she's on her. Oh yeah. No. This all time she's 17th.
Oh, okay.
2019, she's 11th.
Oh, so maybe she's on an upward trajectory.
Maybe that's why she's punching the clock on a Saturday for 8 hours.
All right.
Is to get that rank into the top 10. Now she stands no chance against the top couple birders in this county, and it's a couple. And they're smoking everybody. They're just...
What is it? Just how many species you've seen? Is that the only thing that...
They have... There's 2 lists. One is complete checklists. I don't know what that means. And the next is species. And then that species is the percentage of total. So I'm guessing that would be the percentage of total that would be native to this area or that they can find in this area. So the top couple has seen 96.77% of total species.
Whoa.
That's 300. And they've completed, again, don't know what this means, 3,720 checklists.
I get that maybe that's like actual interactions or like on the... Maybe the checklist means that you have to like see it, take a picture of it, and then like whatever.
The whereas your friendly neighbor has only seen 76.13% of species and has completed 470 checklists. Now, the most recent interaction, do you want to know our most recent interaction with a new species?
I want nothing more.
Was 1 week ago, she encountered a common raven. Now, what type of
I don't know
top percentage birder is just now getting around to the common raven? Do you want to know the people around her?
Like run of the mill.
Do you want to know the people around her who have seen their most recent interactions? Person above her seen a willet 2 weeks ago.
A willet?
I don't know what a willet is. That seems more like something that you should be adding to the list. The person below her, semi-palmated plover. And this idiot has seen a common raven. Well, I saw a mallard duck. Am I in the top percentile, Robert?
But we digress.
Boy, you listen to just that few seconds, it's going to seem very out of context.
Yeah. Who knew that I was surrounded by royalty?
That is just the most outstanding revelation I can imagine.
I was so thrilled with it. I'm happy to pay for the trees. You're like, give me the whole bill.
So we didn't even get to the end of that. Stay tuned. Next week on If Steve Paid for 6 Trees.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for listening.
Why?
You can download, subscribe, and review the show on iTunes,
do you do this
the Apple Podcast app, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Libsyn, Spotify, at Steve and Kyle on all social media. Appreciate all the interaction we've had over the last couple of weeks. Oh, you're digging in.
Oh, yeah, it's the end of the show.
Big wad of BLC.
End of the episode, some big league chew.
Stuff that right in there.
Oh, God, so good. It's so dry.
You got some right on your shirt. Oh, now you got another one right on your shirt.
Chalk all over my
right
fingers.
Here.
It's like evidence of a murder.
Oh, it just dropped. Now it's on your pant leg. All right.
By the way, SteveandKyle.com/merch. We haven't talked about it on the podcast. A couple of new designs in the last few weeks up there from Philip. Hoping to get some more. In addition to the one that we talked about today, Steve's Cul-de-sac movie marathon or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah. Look for that in the coming weeks.
Yep. Keep your eyes open.
SteveandKyle.com/merch. You can call or text your questions, comments, or concerns to 424-30-SK-POD. That's 424-307-5763. And we will talk to you next week.
See ya.